Hey everybody, it's MxRheyRhey here and welcome back to another Watercolor Wednesday. Today is a little different. I'm going to be talking through the video, which is always fun. But today I thought you can watch me work on some concept art for, I feel like I've told you guys before, but I got distracted by a brush. I have this magical universe idea. And I've started writing a little bit about like how magic works and everything in there, and I wanted to kind of like work in a history book for it, and like a journal entry sort of book that I'm also working on. It's very in-depth how far it goes in my head, and I eventually do want to turn it into some sort of book or series. And I want there to be illustrations of this world and everything, and I have some things in mind. So what I'm going to be working on today is one specific area that I don't know if it will have anything to do with the plot yet, because the plot is to be written and to be figured out. So that I can't really say, but I did draw out a map for it, like the world map of it, and I kind of want to work on one specific place in there that I just had this really, I feel like amazing, to me anyway, for the world, amazing concept idea for it. And so I thought you guys could come along with me, and while I try to work out the concept of this area. It also does not have a name, but you know what, let me just scoot over to the desk and I'll get out the map and show you. Move this to the side for a second. Don't squash that. Pick up the pencils later. That is a person. There we go. Okay. Ignore if you saw the other page. Ignore it, and also ignore if you can see through it. But let me see. Let me show you. This is the general area map of it. What I did is I threw beans at the page and then drew around the beans, and that's how I got some of these shapes. But a specific area that I want to sort of figure out is this little area right here. Let me find this right here. So this little island area right here, there's gonna be like a volcano right here. These are sort of like swamp-ish lands. From what I'm figuring, like, you know, like the swamp from Avatar: The Last Airbender, a little bit like that. I like seeing like the vines everywhere, maybe not the trees, but something to that effect. So like you saw it right here, and that's the zoomed in version. That's what I'm working with, that little island. I want to get down the concept idea of like if Venice, Italy took place in a more swampy area. Let me just try to keep to this little corner. Get a ruler for later. Stay right there. Let's keep a little few thumbnail sketches right here of sort of the outside looking in of the environment. Water line there. If you're coming from boat, let's say from just some area, there's like a river going into, because what's a swamp without water? Vines going everywhere, and then a whole myriad of trees. I guess also vines are a good way to like keep things together, like rope. I guess it would depend on the kind of vines. I'm gonna have to look that up. Types of vines. Plus note to help me remember. My writing is atrocious, I am aware. But okay, so if Venice Italy were treetops. So let's start tree trunk there. Maybe some guardrails for safety because children don't inherently know how to swim. And so there's like a beachy area around here, like the treetops. So like a swampy Venice, this was, oh, I already drew that right there. So concept, except this house looks bigger. That is not gonna work. The house will sink. I'll just have to keep building. A whole bunch of ruined resources and ruins underneath a swamp. Okay, so anyways, another concept idea. It's really rough, but like imagine this is a river. This part right here is supposed to be, oh, that's green, that's very green, so it's up here. I thought this was, I reached for the blue and I don't think purple will pretty much work out when it comes to natural structures, but that's just so you can differentiate between what's nature and what's living area. So, like I said, this is water, this is a bridge, all the treetops and trees with housing, sort of like the inside. Let's try that concept around here, what with the treetops. Here, let's have the river go down here. And because it's all like swamp, I'm gonna have to look up how swamplands actually look. There has to be other swamps other than Florida, right? I'm not just being an American. Just a whole bunch of like tree area, like family and everything, housing. I feel like they would also probably every once in a while, like if they live in swampy areas and they live among the treetops, they're gonna have to go every once in a while down to the bottom to like fish, right? So maybe they have like floating docks. Can you guys even see that? Sort of, kind of, that's a little better. However many trees are usually in a swamp, that's how spread out they are. It's a bit of a concept. Just vines everywhere. You know what, let's just do one certain concept at a time. No, let me look up rafts. Okay, so that's kind of easy. Like, if you want to be completely simplistic about it, I'm not entirely sure if these people will be simplistic. I mean, I don't think they will be, but what works, you know? So I think when you go with like, you don't have a lot of solid ground to go with, and you don't really have too many like big structures to make intricate boats, I think wooden rafts would probably end up being like sort of the standard. Let me go there. I'll just make a perspective like somewhat similar. It's just rough lines, but they'd short circles. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, let's just, wood's always unpredictable anyway. So let's go like that, sort of round them out here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so yeah. I'll kind of do it. Let's just get rid of the bottom parts of these. so I can kind of tell where they are, but and then, you know, there. I've seen some with like 2 extra logs this way to like tie, like keep it extra together, but I feel like concept is usually neater than this. But basically like that. Things like little ladders to get from the top to bottom. I feel like that works. Okay. Okay, well, let me do a little more research about the tree huts, because I don't know if I want them to be circular, if they can look like a traditional home, if I want them to be square like they're from Venice sort of thing. Because, you know, I want the Venice influence that gave this idea to show a little through. Do a little more research, and then we'll get back. And then maybe one more concept idea for this whole tree thing. Maybe I'll look up like nature hierarchies when it comes to tree life in atriums. A little more research. If you hear me talking to someone off screen, it is my cat. Pay her no mind. She's a bit of a rascal and always wants outside and then back in, and I can't help but tell her yes because she meows at me if I don't. So I was looking up societal structures of like forest areas, especially canopy, and I call them atrium, but they called them something else. What was it? Emergent layer. The emergent layer of the forest. Therefore, it's like the trees that emerge, or that look like they emerge, more so than the whole top of the layer. I had an idea, a bit of an idea, for the changing in the huts, and that was maybe, instead of being so high up, maybe lower them a little bit down, so there's not as much like rope and ladders that need to be done. It also makes it better for later in their universe when they have to trade with people. Some people aren't climbers. I still want some of the huts to be higher up top, like in the emergent layer. Actually, you know what? What if there was like a structure? Let me draw some trees. So all the vines will be underneath them. And then there will be some that are, let's say, the residential layer, depending, I guess, on the family, how open they want their hut to be for people. I don't like, let's bulk out this tree a bit so it's not all lopsided. Kitten, you cannot go outside anymore. Go eat some food. Do you really want outside? Really, truly? Really, truly, really? Okay, I'll be right back, guys. So, security huts, top layer, residential huts. I think it would vary on how condensed the population is in a specific area, but like, just like the top of the trunk to maybe like, if this is in water, like if that's the water, okay, so if that's the water line, and that's the trunk, this is a short tree, then like somewhere in between the top of the trunk before it starts to branch off everywhere, and like 10 feet away from the water. Let's just say that's 10 feet, because you don't want your residential home to get like flooded, and because most of the river flows from the ocean, it's going to be subject to high and low tides, so you typically don't want to wake up in the middle of the night during high tide because your bottom is wet. So typically they're a safer distance high up, so they don't have to worry about like flooding and low tides. And then let's say this is the water layer for this one. let's say it's still a little higher up, like normal high tides. I think this is low tide. I think normal high tide would be here, and the 10-foot mark would be like right here. So like 10 foot, and then 10 foot for reference here. Then high tide, low tide, low tide. Right there. Let's say there are other huts. Let's give it and let's start from the top. And they're obviously going to be a lot bigger than this because of what I'm about to say that they are. But I guess like the business area in their society is lower. That way there's like a hierarchical system of like, oh well, I was like like there's an uptown downtown sort of thing with cities. There's like, oh, I was low. Well, I was up at the High Branch today reporting, like, I don't know, robberies or something. Like, that's where security is. They keep an eye on things. And then they were like, well, no, I was about mid-level. I was visiting my cousin. They were like, I found the best restaurant, Low Trunk, today. Something of that nature. These are not how I want the huts to look like. This one just looks like a very sad SpongeBob hut. The pineapple, I don't know why, but typically this would be like business district, which helps their population with trade. Since they're islands, they kind of have to rely a little bit more than normal on trade if they want their I don't know, their businesses to have a variety of things. So this would be res, this would be security. Yeah, so that actually makes a lot of sense to me. I'm trying so hard not to put capitalism into my universe, but like, you know, think about history. Well, that would typically be it. Let me finally draw like an actual... So much for staying in one corner, you know? They'd probably connect a lot. Especially in the denser areas, because... Actually, yeah, I'm gonna make the middle one the biggest one because that just makes the most sense. And it would, to some people, it would make sense because structural integrity, like divided we conquer, or no, not divided we conquer, like together we stand sort of thing. Like, it's better to have your houses connect for structure and safety. Others, it's just because they're a big family and they want their family to be close. Don't worry, we're gonna color soon. I swear this is a watercolor Wednesday. I don't know about the people yet. I don't know what to call them. I don't know what the place that this little island I'm making is called. This is specifically, I think, just one island, not the volcano island. The volcano island also obviously has more land to it, so their huts would be on the ground, not necessarily from the water. I wanted it to be a lot of warm colors. I wanted it to have like close together feel. Let me start with the thumbnails, actually. So, you know what? No, I'm gonna start with something bigger that you can see. Let's start with this thing that I was already working on the concept of. Let me get my towel because I'm going to be messy and fast. So, let's get a little of this brown in here. I'm gonna get warm. Let's warm it up a bit. You know what? Oh, that's actually really pretty. Yeah, actually, what color is that? What color would I say that is? Like a wine? I should also have added water to the paper. I kind of don't like dry strokes. And there's just something about them that I don't particularly like. Let me get into here. Move that up a little and clean this up a bit. Put this here, and then add a little bit of, because I want the trees right now to be not too dark. Obviously they're gonna have to have bark on them, but I feel like the bark could be useful if you can get it out off the tree without killing it. So this is a sort, the treetops right here are barkless, but they've acclimated. I don't know what tree does that. This tree does. Oh, you guys can't, oh, you guys can kind of see. I'm working on this side right now of the palette. Okay, this green needs to be rehydrated, but let's add a little green to this brown right there. And just because some of the twigs that they use grew moss. What do I keep making this gate that I keep thinking is there? Let's make it, okay, well it doesn't matter right now actually. So let's just make it a light green black. If that makes sense. I wasn't going to use this really bright green for anything anyway, so let's just make it a greeny black. So brown again, but a dark brown. I'm still trying to find my style for this concept anyway when it comes to how I will be making it, but it's not going to be, okay, obviously this is concept art. It's not going to be this flowy, I really like desaturated colors, don't I? Wow. It's likely going to be more sketchy. Right now I'm thinking like the urban sketch style, so a little loose, but there's going to be some detail in there. I want to be able to draw main characters and main deities' faces in a realistic style, as well as like a loose sketchy style, just so I can adjust how I need to with them, just so you know I can get like a good sense of this is what their actual face looks like. So there we go. We'll say the door is on the other side because there's only one like partial window on this one anyway. So actually, this is a color I really do like. Let me add light warm yellow to this one to see if I like the color. Oh, it's like an orange. I do like that. I just, you know what, if I'm so focused on them being able to trade with other people, I assume they can use every color of the rainbow, and they just like orange housing, which I don't blame them for. I really like the color orange. This is pretty much where I would stay if I were in this universe. It's more orange for you guys than anything, but I do like that concept color being in there. I feel like I really want to use this dark green a lot, and I'm sure green to them would be a very conservative color because they live around green all the time. Look at my poor brush. It's got a split in it. No, what did I do wrong? So this is the concept I have for their housing structure. It is very colorful. They like being put together for safety, and also their culture is very togetherness sort of thing. Their houses are very connected together. That's the Venetian style coming in. Also, they really like colors. When, oh, I guess green is like a traditional color, not necessarily conservative. But like, I guess one of their first colors ever would be green. If they ever wanted to like dye clothes that weren't just woven from like vines in nature. So like beiges and grays are considered traditional. When people started coming over and trading with them and doing all of this stuff, color came in. It was exciting and they loved it. It was very vibrant. It spoke to them. So a lot of people like color in their housing, in their clothing, things of that nature. I assume because they do a lot of fishing for their protein, they have a very like seafood main diet with any other kind of foliage they can find in their nature, like berries, and they're obviously they're omnivore, but they would probably have a lot of like Creole maybe inspired dishes, a lot of like, because a lot of swampland stuff invite crustacean like things. Whether they know what Cajun is, that's sort of the style they go for. I guess swampy land, it's going to be a lot of vegetation, so the water should be primarily green with like blue, like a bluish green. I wonder if they would have insurance when the business district does actually flood. Dab it back a bit. I want this to be a little paler. There we go. And security. I feel like security would, like, the main way you figure out what's security and what's not is because they do wear green, especially since they are up here in a way, having to look, if there's part of security and they need to be like secure and they need to make sure that everything is safe, a lot of how you can identify them is to wear green. I think it would be more of a darker green though, like let's see, let's add the dark blue and the dark green. Something, maybe. This seems too much like water though. How do I desaturate green? Let's add a little bit of pink. Now it's just gray, but that's sort of the color I'm going for. How long has this been? How long does this thing go out of focus all the time? Like, I don't understand why it goes out of focus, but it does. Okay, so yeah, security would be like dark green so it can blend in with the trees, make sure everyone's safe. They don't really have to sneak around, but it just, they had to pick a color, and green is the cheapest color for them to produce with their clothing. I wonder why. Hi, oh, little kitten's just, she's not a kitten. I just call her kitten. Kind of like you can call someone baby. But yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, so I like it so far. I like my ideas. I like workshopping. It's gonna be a while before any of this really comes to like its final draft. It's gonna be like years, couple years. I'm literally just getting started. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys enjoy my concept ideas. If you want to hear any more about this universe, let me know. I have to come up with all the concepts about it anyway, and it would just be like, it'd be really cool if like I could share it with people while I'm coming up with it. Obviously I can't tell you guys everything, like well, I won't be able to tell you guys everything, or otherwise I'll like spoil a lot for you. But this I thought would be fun because this is one of the first sort of societies I thought of within this world. If you like this video, let me know down in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and if you like my idea and you want to see more of it. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, okay. That's fine.